I love the end of the year because it gives me a chance to reset. Something about it just allows me to calm down, take a step back, and see my life in a new light. Before we speed up again, set better and bigger goals, and jump into the new year. I think there's a hidden power in reflecting on this past year first and asking ourselves some really honest questions. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. To get the most out of this reflection, I think it really helps to pick some categories or areas of life that really matter to you right now and that you want to reflect on. Some potential categories are career and business, finances, education, relationships, health and fitness, personal growth, and spiritual growth. You can either pick one, some, or all of these categories to reflect on, depending on what's important to you. I'm gonna pick career and business for this reflection right now, and by that I mean my engineering career and my YouTube channel. But I might come back to this reflection for other categories as well. So let's do some reflecting. The journaling prompts I'm about to share I learned from psychologist Corey Wilkes, who has an amazing newsletter called Creator Alchemy. And I love these questions because they really get to the core and they're focused on taking lessons from what we did this year. Where did I think too small? This question is meant to get us thinking about the impact we would like to make versus the impact we have made, and giving ourselves permission to think bigger. I think something where I was thinking too small this year is when I was looking for a new job. I knew I was ready for something new, a new challenge, but the jobs I was looking at were all really similar to the one I already had. They were obvious choices because they were engineering jobs in industries similar to the battery industry that would be easy for me to get because I had more or less all of the prerequisites. But these options weren't inspiring me. I didn't feel excited to go for them until I finally considered some more out-of-the-box ideas. I finally thought about what I want from my new job. So I realized my number one priority was learning a lot, especially learning from more senior people and getting to know a lot of new industries. When I focused on that, it was really obvious what job I had to go for. And this was not an easy job for me to get, but I was motivated to do whatever it takes to get there. And I succeeded. I'm going to be starting there in February. I'm super excited, and I will take this as a lesson to not pick my next job based on the jobs I think I can get, but the job that I actually want. How did I overcomplicate things? This question is especially for you if, like me, you like making super elaborate plans with tons of steps, and if you're really honest with yourself, they keep you from taking action more than they help you. That's for sure something I want to work on. And in fact, when my boyfriend saw this question on my laptop, he wrote down for me everything in life basically. But I'm gonna pick one thing for this question, and that's my YouTube channel. I made some really complicated videos this year that took hours and hours of writing, filming, and editing, and required me to learn tons of new things. As a result, I procrastinated a ton and only posted 9 videos this year until December started. In December, I decided to challenge myself and post a video every day for 24 days. And this is video number 22. How is that possible? This challenge forced me to pick simple video ideas that can be made within one day, focus on the tasks that get the video made, stop trying to perfect it, and just post something. There was no time for procrastination or overcomplication. While this is not a sustainable way for me to keep making videos because everything else in my life suffered under this, it has shown me just how much unnecessary time I waste on things that don't get me results. So instead of giving myself more time for the things I can't get done, maybe I should try giving myself less time. What games did I play and optimize for? This is about playing the short game versus the long game. Think about if the things you did on the day-to-day this year are helping you with the long game of where you want to go, and if they are things you want to be doing in the long run. For me, this again got me thinking about my YouTube channel. I want to be making YouTube videos long term, but not the kind of videos I've been making. I've been mostly making the kinds of videos that do the best for my current audience. So videos about engineering career advice. But I don't see myself making these kinds of videos a few years into the future, because at some point I will run out of advice to give. And I don't feel like I'm bringing the kind of depth to my videos that I would like. This tells me that I probably need to invest more time in really figuring out what direction I want to develop in, because optimizing for views in the short term is pretty useless if it doesn't align with my long-term vision, or even worse, if I don't even have a long-term vision, which I'm honestly lacking a bit right now. How much time did I spend in the lab versus the arena? Similar to the question about overcomplicating, this is about figuring out how much you were actually planning and researching versus just doing things that can get you results. I definitely spent way too much time in the lab this year, literally because that was my job as a process engineer, but also figuratively because I was trying to do a lot of new things and was watching tutorials and taking courses and reading books. And if I'm honest, I don't have that much to show for it. The one project where I think I did this well is starting my podcast this year, because the way I started my podcast is I invited my first guest and then I had no choice. I quickly had to figure out which microphones to buy and what software to use and where to record it, and I managed. So my lesson from this is go into the arena as quickly as possible. Just invite the audience and your opponent and then learn how to fight. How much tea did I pour into my golden bucket? This question is a beautiful metaphor that Corey came up with. Tea stands for your time, energy, and attention, which are your most valuable resources. And you have two buckets you can pour your tea into. The first bucket is big, full of holes, and it represents everything that's outside of your control. The second bucket is your golden bucket. That's a much smaller bucket that doesn't have any holes. It's leak-proof, and it stands for everything that's within your control. If you pour time, energy, and attention into things out of your control, you're wasting them. But if you're pouring them into things within your control, you're making a real impact. I thought about this both for my career and my YouTube channel. When I was applying to my dream job, I couldn't control whether or not I would get the job, but I could do everything in my power to make it as easy as possible for them to say yes. So creating the best CV I possibly could, preparing for every possible question they might ask me, doing practice interviews, and taking every opportunity I could get to talk to people who already work there to get as good of a picture of the job and company as possible, to make sure that it's really where I want to work, and to be able to explain that confidently to my interviewers. As for my YouTube channel, I was really hoping to get to 10,000 subscribers this year, which I obviously didn't. I'm currently at about 7,400, and this is not something I can control. My efforts to reach 10,000 subscribers are wasted. What I can control is coming up with unique video ideas, making the best possible videos, making more videos, and making videos that build a deeper connection with my audience by showing more of my life and personality. These are all things that are also likely to get me more subscribers, but they're also enough by themselves. If I set those as my goals, they will keep me motivated because I can control them. If I do them, I succeed, regardless of if other people decide to subscribe or not. And that's also, again, playing the long game. Let's hope I remember this when I sit down to set my goals after this. How well did I incorporate memento mori into my life to live fully every day? Memento mori is Latin and literally means remember you must die, or remember death, or as Corey puts it, remember it will end. Everything you take for granted today will at some point be a memory. And it might sound negative, but the idea is to use it to make the best of your life and to help you focus on what matters. It's something I think I'm pretty good at remembering when things are going well. When I was still living in Stockholm, I remember having a lot of moments where I was just sitting on the sofa in my apartment or going for a walk by the water and thinking, wow, I really love living here. I'm really lucky, but I would like to use it more to decide what matters to me, to say no to things I don't want to do, quit things quicker that aren't serving me, and take control when I'm not happy, because I don't have forever, so I better not waste time dreading my life. So for example, as soon as I figure out that I don't enjoy my daily routine, I don't look forward to it, I need to make a change. How well did I connect with others on similar journeys versus building in isolation? We need others to succeed, especially in the long run. I think when it comes to YouTube, I've been connecting with others a lot in the past year, and that has had a huge impact. It keeps me going, and even in periods where I'm not making much progress, or maybe even have to put a pause on making videos, like I had to for about 2 months while I was applying to jobs, it still makes me feel connected to YouTube. A bit over a year ago is when I found my YouTube accountability partner Elsa Scola, with whom I've had bi-weekly accountability calls all through this year. I really have to say a big thank you to Elsa, because it's been so good to have someone who understands my goals and my worries, and who's always up for brainstorming and researching together and motivating each other. When it comes to my career, I have felt quite alone, especially since I decided to leave my previous previous job because I didn't know anyone in my position and I didn't even know what I was gonna do next. So I could not even connect with people who were already there because we're there. Now obviously all of that is going to change once I start my new job, and I'm gonna have to put effort into connecting with new people since I'll be at a new company, in a new city, in a new country even, and I just really hope to find people that have similar goals and mindsets. And it will be good for me to keep in mind that building connections matters to me so that I actively pursue it. What are my most memorable wins? I really like this question because it immediately tells me what I cared most about achieving this year, so it can also help me set better goals for the next year. And funnily enough, hitting a specific subscriber count is not on the list, which tells me that it shouldn't have been a goal. Instead, my most memorable wins in chronological order are starting my podcast, taking the decision to leave my job and move countries, doing an amazing road trip with my boyfriend through France and Spain, landing my dream job, and posting a video every day of December so far. What changes will I make going forward based on what I've learned from these reflections? Think bigger when it comes to setting goals and taking decisions. Give myself less time for things that I tend to overcomplicate so that I'm forced to focus on the tasks that get me results. Create a long-term vision and do things that get me there. Focus on the things that are in my control. Go into the arena sooner and more often. Change something as soon as I realize I'm on the wrong path, and set goals that reflect the kinds of wins I care about. Here's an overview of all the questions in case you want to take a screenshot. I'm also gonna link Corey's original article in the description if you want to dive deeper into these questions and see his reflections, which I'll admit are a lot deeper than mine. Do you feel ready to plan your 2024 now? I definitely do, which I'm also gonna do right now. That video will come out tomorrow and then I'm gonna link it right here.